Okay, if you're looking for a video to help explain what happened yesterday with the Supreme Court case in Texas, then this video is for you. If you're having people text you, call you, scream at you, yell at you, wondering, is it over, what's going on, then this video is definitely for you, because I'm going to talk about all that as to why the Texas case was important. It was not the end-all be-all, in fact, not even close. How it still comes down to the states and their ability to elect electors. We're going to talk about that from a legal standpoint and what the options are there and what the strategy going forward is. In fact, nothing really has changed from that standpoint. We'll talk about all that and much more, and we'll start right now. Hi, my name is Kyle, and this is The Conservative Take, where we take culture, TV, movie, news, and politics and filter it to you the right way. If this is your first time here, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button and that bell icon so you don't miss any future content. And also, if you want to join this channel and support us, then please click that join button to find out how to do just that. All right, in this video right now, I'm going to talk to you about yesterday's Texas decision, what it really means, and why it was important, but why it wasn't the absolute end-all be-all. Texas case was something that came out of nowhere. No one anticipated this. And we talked about in 2 videos prior that the reason why it came up was because of standing, how President Trump didn't have standing to get one big, beautiful lawsuit into one particular case because he was an individual running for president. He didn't have that ability. But states can sue other states, and that can go directly to the Supreme Court because it's original, meaning it can go right up. But the problem here was that there was no standing according to the Supreme Court ruling. In other words, what they're saying was that Texas was not damaged by this particular suit. They would argue that we were disenfranchised with our votes, but they said no. Essentially, it was Judge Alito and Justice Thomas were the only ones who were actually looking at taking the case forward. So that was where it is. And the reason why Texas was so important in that regard was to get the feckless state legislators to do their jobs. We tweeted this earlier today. It says, this is from our Parler account, by the way. If you don't follow us on Parler, check us out there. It's parler.theconservativetake.com. Check us out there. We put our feeds out there, and you can check it out there prior to our videos going up. Well, we tweeted this here. We said, we have never needed the SCOTUS. Everything up to this point has been about getting, 1, evidence, which we've done big time, and 2, getting this GOP-controlled state legislators to man up and do what's already constitutionally vested in them to do. And so we're going to go over this article here from the American Thinker. And the American Thinker has this great piece out there. We'll leave a link below on this, or go to the Parler page and go there directly to see it. Article here sums the whole thing up. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will put some stuff on the screen. You can just freeze frame it, or if you can go to the article yourself and read it. I'm not going to read the whole jargon. I'm going to cover the beginning and toward the end and give my assessment, and then that will be the end of this video. So this video is basically all about letting you know what the status is of what happened, and this article I think does it very, very well. So this is from a gentleman by the name of James Arlington, and he writes here, we don't need SCOTUS to win. He opens up by saying this: the Texas suit, later joined by other states against Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Georgia, was a nice try, but it was always a long shot. Of course, the Supreme Court would be reluctant to grab so much power by ordering state legislators to seat the right electors. Why? Because the power is already in the hands of the legislators to do this. We mentioned this yesterday's video, and go check that out. I'll leave a link above on that. Was that this suit was all about getting the state legislators the backing, the support, the cover, whatever you want to call it, to do the right thing. They already have the power to do it. It's almost like Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz. You know, she wanted to go home. She wanted to go back to Kansas. Well, the whole time, the whole movie, when it's over, the princess is like, look, dude, you could have done it the whole time by just clicking your heels. You had the power the whole time to do it. Same thing with the legislators here. They had the whole power now vested in them to do the right thing. And so the point of it was, again, to our last parlay on Parler, was to say, number 1, to get the evidence. That's been done. Every day we're getting 10 or more stories about evidence being uncovered all over the place. And so that should be a done deal. The second thing is to get the people within the legislators to do their jobs. And of course, there may be some people in there who have Trump derangement syndrome, and then there comes the problem, right? And you have some people who are just scared to do anything because they never had to do anything, because quite frankly, at that level, they've never really been asked to do anything at a major national level because they just came in as a state legislator. But they may not have known that their power may have to be brought to task, and that moment is now. So let's go into this article. I'm going to leave this up here. So from here on out, I'm going to paraphrase the article. It's right there for you to read for yourself. I'm not going to go through it all because it's just going to be wonky stuff. And so the key thing to understand about this article and what it's saying, and what we've been saying on this channel for a long time, is that the states have ultimate control. They have what we call plenary authority or absolute authority. And this article goes into a situation in terms of state laws and about how they have the ability to change the results of the election if they are seeing fraud or illegalities, errors, illegal stuff, right? And so if they see that, they have the ability to change that and appoint their own electors. And it works in with the Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2 of the Constitution to do that, to back that up. And so the point is this, again, the state legislators have the control. So what does it look like from a timeline? So right now, if you look at the calendar, on December 14th, that's when the state legislators meet to appoint their electors, okay? The ones that are undisputed, the ones that no one disputes, those will go forward. At this point in time, the states that are in dispute amount of enough electoral votes that nobody can become president. So it comes down to Arizona, Michigan, Georgia, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. And those are the ones that are going to be determining essentially the election. And so what happened all this time is to have hearings and meetings and hearings and meetings and discussions and rallies to get the state legislators to do their jobs. What happens if the disputed states cannot select electors and neither Trump or Biden reaches 270? So let's say that they can't determine, those 6 states can't determine what's going on. No one reaches 270, then what happens? It says here, we mentioned this before, that it goes to the House of Representatives and each state has one vote, and this one vote is determined by the political makeup of the state legislators. The state controls 29 and the Democrats have 19. Trump wins again. They have to vote by party, so Trump would win automatically in that case. So then what happens if let's say Arizona, Michigan, Georgia, and Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania send electors for Trump to Washington? What happens then? Well, Biden will also send his electors from Arizona, Michigan, Georgia, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania as well. So there will be 2 sets of conflicting electors going in. But again, the Constitution would fall back onto who has the authority to assign those. Does the Constitution allow for governors or secretaries of states or Supreme Courts within those states to appoint electors? No, it only appoints state legislators, so Trump would win there as well. So those are the 2 scenarios outside of any other types of scenarios that we may talk about later on this channel involving a particular executive order, but we won't talk about that. So the key thing is this, and also Sidney Powell stuff is also important here, talks about is that those need to continue to going forward because that deals with election fraud and keeping our integrity elections intact. And so that has to keep going forward. That's what's really, really important. So that's going to take years to go on. But right now, we mentioned before on this channel, again, I'll mention this here, that there were 2 tiers to the way Trump was attacking this legally, or from his, to get this to go his way. And that was to have a legal attack and have a state legislative attack. This video is pretty much dealing with the state legislative attack, getting the legislators to man up and do their jobs. But also Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood in Georgia were working on the legal side with fraud and improper actions and so forth. And so this will continue on and has a much wider, broader scope to it. This here is a clean cut way, the state legislator way. And so that is where we are. And so lastly, we must counter left-wing pressure, including their threats of violence that will be thrust on these little-known state politicians. Without threats of violence on their side, we can still stand firm to support and defend them. So the important question is this: what do you think? What do you think about this whole thing? And are you discouraged by any of this, or are you excited about what's going to happen because you know that this is going to go the right way? Let me know in the comments below. I'd be curious to know what you think. And always, if you like what we do in this channel, we take culture, TV, movie news, and politics and filter it to you the right way, then please click the like and subscribe button and that bell icon. And if you want to check out our Discord server, please do so. And as always, please check out some content that we have right